Hey guys and girls, I'm Links123 and welcome to yet another update video about Breath of the Wild 64. In today's video I got so much of content for you guys and girls because in the past weeks I have been really silent on different social medias, the Facebook page and my YouTube channel. I just took my time to complete a lot of work with the project, and I just wanted to give it a really huge hit with making different things in this project. Letters, logos, menus, icons and different areas. So as I said before, in today's video I have so much to show you, so let's just jump into it. As you can see here, the very first thing that I want to talk about is the intro screen. You can clearly see Zelda Breath of the Wild 64 version, and then the text underneath it says press start. It's also a new font, the same font that is used in Breath of the Wild, the retail version, and also down here with the 1998 and 2020 Link Sword 1, 2, 3. So I always put my own kind of ideas into it, and I always show who have been making this project. I think that's pretty normal because you want to have some credit for the work you're doing. But yeah, that was the actual intro screen. I think it's really epic because the intro screen is just the first thing you see when you start up the game, so it has to be something that just pops in your face the very first time that you start the game up with this texture pack. The very next thing is pretty fast forward. It's this file select screen. You can clearly see here something is changed. We got the same Breath of the Wild font here with files, and then down here we got copy, erase and options, and also the background with Link climbing up a little mountain here, a really popular wallpaper and really awesome if you ask me. So already here we can see this is Breath of the Wild inspired. I don't say it is Breath of the Wild because it's just a texture pack, right? But I'm really trying to put some ideas from Breath of the Wild into the project, and I think I did it quite well with this. When you if you choose one of the files, you can see here we already got the medallions and the spiritual stones, or whatever you want to call them, and they are also retextured. I have to say the hearts that you can see is not retextured yet. This is just from another texture pack, so I have to edit these once again. But it's nothing. It's not a big deal. It takes like 10 minutes or so. But I haven't been doing that yet. If you go down here, we can see options. We also see the same wallpaper down here. It could be cool to have another wallpaper here in the background, but I couldn't manage to do that because it's just the same texture that that pops up there. If you are taking a new file, we can also see new letters, so you can just write your name with Breath of the Wild font. Pretty cool. The very next thing is also something that I really do like. So let's just go straight into that instead of all this weird talking. Yes, the next thing is the menu, the start menu if you want to call it that. The first thing you see if you are starting up a new game is it's the map screen, but I'm actually not finished with that. I'm done with the background, but the actual map of Hyrule is not remade yet, so don't think about that texture. If we're going over to the item select screen, we can clearly see these this Breath of the Wild wallpaper that also have been used here with the transparent effect. Looks really cool if you ask me. So if you are having all of the different items, you can actually see them here. They are for sure also remade into true Breath of the Wild icons. So I have dumped the textures from the Wii U version and put them into the texture pack. So it's actually the precisely or the exact same icons that have been used in Breath of the Wild. Going over to the equipment screen, we can also see some few different things here. Same wallpaper that have been used on the item select screen, and this time we also got some transparent black squares, so these will be filled up when you get different items around in the game. Boots, tonics, whatever, shields, swords. I will show you that in a second. Going over to the quest status screen, we got the same. We got the same wallpaper here. Once again, not transparent. For some reason the game don't allow me to do that. I don't really know why, but it doesn't matter because then you can get a clearer sight of the actual wallpaper. I think it should look like Ganondorf or something like that. I actually don't even know. But we got the different different giants in each corner of the wallpaper. It looks really cool and I think it fits really well. Yeah, and the map select screen is not something that I've been working that much on. It will be done really soon, so make sure to stay tuned on the Facebook page because I will be posting a picture of it as soon as I have been doing that. Let's go over to the icons. And here we go. I'm currently adult Link because it means I have more items to show you guys and girls. Because young Link has less items and I don't think he has as cool items as adult Link. So up here we got the Deku Stick, we got Deku Nuts, Bumps, Fairy Arrow and Fairy Bow, sorry. And we got Fire Arrow, Ice Arrow and the Light Arrows. Over here we got the different elements, Din's Fire, Pharaoh's Wind and Neru's Love too. There's no actual texture for this in Breath of the Wild, so I just came up with this idea and I thought, okay, they're pretty nice. Maybe it could be better, but I think it's pretty cool to put my own ideas into the project too when there is no other solution from Breath of the Wild. So I just have to came up with this idea and I think it turned out really well. Over here we got the hookshot, we got the Megaton Hammer, Magic Beans, Bump Shoe, we got the Ocarina of Time, and then we got the Lens of Truth, Boomerang and Slingshot. Down here we got the different bottles. For sure there are more of them than the ones that are shown here, but it's pretty much the same texture just with a little twist. We can see it's the same bottle design that goes over and over and again, except for the long milk, but it's a texture for its own. And then I just put it over this white little fish, this letter or this blue fire. So it has a little kind of what can I say, a little twist over it, but it's pretty much the same texture. Going over to the equipment screen is, there's more items than before. Usually you just start with the Kokiri Tonic and the Kokiri Boots, but this time we also got Iron Boots. I really love the texture of this, damn. The Hover Boots, it was the closest texture that I could find from Breath of the Wild. That's the reason why I chose these. Yeah, I don't know. They will not look like these boots in game once I have been creating them. But alright, I think they fit really well and looks cool inside this menu, and that's basically the whole point of it. We got the very start tonic from Breath of the Wild, if I remember right, maybe. As the Sora tonic, and then we got the Goron tonic too. Up here we got the different shields. We got the Kokiri shield, Deku shield, Highland shield, the very original texture, and then we got the mirror shield. This texture doesn't really fit for the shield in game, but once again I just felt like it was fitting really well in this menu, and there is no real mirror shield from Ocarina of Time in Breath of the Wild, so I had to come up with another idea here, and therefore I just replaced it with this. Up here we got the Giant's Knife, Master Sword and the Kokiri Sword. Pretty much basic sword textures from Breath of the Wild too. Over here we got the golden gauntlets. For sure the silver gauntlets will also be the same texture, but with a more grey color scheme than this one. It should look like it's gold or bronze. It's actually more brown for some reason, but it has this texture, and I hope you can see the difference, or else you can just read the little text down below saying golden gauntlets or silver gauntlets. Down here we got the silver scale and the golden scale in the correct color scheme, green or blue, which is pretty much the same as in Ocarina of Time, the retail version, right? Going over here we can also see on the status screen that we have the different medallions. There's not much to say here. Down here we got the different stones, and over here we got a new melody note, whatever you want to call it, more slim version than the one appearing in the retail game. I just have to find some PNGs on Google just to have something that would fit to my project, and I think this texture really does it. It looks like this. It's just a slim version of a note, and it doesn't give it that boldy feeling, and I think that's really great. Up here we got the heart piece, but it's not made by me, so I have to remake that, so don't think about that. Over here we got the Gold Skull Cholula counter, which is also something that I came up with. It's actually a little token or a medallion, whatever you want to call it, from Breath of the Wild, and then I just put it over a little PNG of a spider over it. I don't even know if you can see that, but there is a little black spider on it, which should indicate it is the Gold Skull Cholula counter. Up here we got the Stone of Agony, which is the Sheikah tablet, and over here we got the Gerudos Card, which is just a basic letter from Breath of the Wild, but still with these two textures comes from Breath of the Wild. Over here, once again, the map is not done, but you can just get a little glimpse of the background, which is the same wallpaper that appears in all of the different sides of the start menu. So that's basically the menu. I'm really proud of the different work I have put it into this. I think it's pretty cool to see these icons from the original Breath of the Wild being into Ocarina of Time. That's really awesome, man. It's really awesome. So let's move on to the next place. The next place is, as you probably can see, the Temple of Time. I'm really proud of the work here because I love these mossy textures, and as you can see, they have been used everywhere in Temple of Time. I just love the look of it. It's amazing. Sadly, I couldn't make it look like it's a destroyed Temple of Time as you see it in Breath of the Wild, but I tried my best to make it look like it's old and it's forgotten, and it's pretty much mossy everywhere with these mossy stones. It looks cool enough, I guess, and I just love the look of the new Temple of Time. So it's not just grey textures and grey bricks everywhere. This time it's more green and more, it's just awesome looking. You can also see the warp pedestal here, which is the same texture that will appear on all of the different warp pedestals, just with a different icon here in the middle. Looks pretty cool and just looks really ancient and old. If you are moving a little bit up here with the pedestal, up to the pedestal, you can see the different stones here being placed here. Just looks awesome. There's not much to say here. It's pretty much the same texture over and over again. Moving into the other room, we can see the legendary blade, the Master Sword. Wow, that looks awesome. The Master Sword is not recreated yet. I have to do that when I find a perfect texture for the actual Master Sword for Link's hand when he holds it, because this texture that appears on this sword is actually a different one from the one that Link can wear. So I have to find an idea for the actual one, and then I will be placing that texture on this one. I hope you get what I mean here, because it can be a little complicated, but it is what it is. So once again we got the same texture over and over again, pretty much mossy everywhere. But I really just like the look of this. It gives a whole new feeling to the Temple of Time instead of these grey texture bricks everywhere. I think the new look of this is just awesome, man. Really, really awesome. If we are moving out of the temple and going down to the market, we will also see some different new things that have been recreated since last time. A little fun fact before I move to the actual market: these pre-rendered background, for some reason I can't find the textures anywhere, and even though if I find them, I'm not able to edit them. So don't expect each pre-rendered background to be edited once the project will be released, because it will take a lot of time, and it will also be a war for me just to find all of the different textures. For some reason I just can't get it to work. But once again, it doesn't feel like it's the most important part of the game. A little notice, the background here in the market is not made by me, it's made by GP, just so you know that, and don't give me the credit, but I'm using this texture pack by GP, the Wind Waker one, as a template for my own project. So that's the reason why some of his textures is appearing different places in my texture pack. Well, we are arrived at the Bombshoe bowling area, which is pretty much straightforward. There's not much to say, but it looks really cool, really colorful, and really awesome. And if we are going down here, yeah, a little bit for the boys there. If we're going down here, we can also see Play Me. What is that? Well, it's just a texture, sorry guys, but yes, it's a picture of an old N64, and it's just a little cool gimmick. I don't know why, but I have to put these Easter eggs into it. I think that's pretty funny. Moving to the next area, it's going to be the shooting gallery, and it's over here. Oop. Alright, a lot of pink stones, bricks, whatever you want to call it. You can clearly see them here. And then we got this kind of a desert looking background. It's actually a screenshot from Breath of the Wild, so it's once again a little gimmick there. So I just didn't took something that looked like a desert from Google or something. This is actually from Breath of the Wild, pretty cool. Yeah, well, this place is not that interesting. There's not much to say, but if you're taking a look over there, you can also see Zelda's ass. So yeah, this guy, he's really having a fun time looking at that. Just looking, just looking. All right. The next place is going to be nighttime, or it has to be nighttime to enter it. It's the treasure shop game, but I will just fly into it, so it makes everything a little bit more quicker. Over here we can see pretty much a lot of different textures, really colorful once again. Green and red color scheme looks really cool. And then we got this guy just standing there, sitting there, whatever. Not much to say there. Each room has different colors, or there are 3 rooms all in all. The first rooms are very green, the next one is purple and blue, and the next one has to be, I think it's red or something like that. You can see here, red and pink. Looks really cool and just looks really awesome in my opinion. Just to have, I just have to make something look quite new, and that's the reason why I came up with this idea. And this is the final room, really gold, and it definitely looks like you have won the prize. Let's just open the texture and see treasure and see what's inside. Holy shit, I just called the chest for a texture, I don't know why, man. Treasure. I called the treasure for texture, for God's sake. I'm saying texture too much then. Well, not to waste all of your time, let's just skip to the very next area, and I see you in a second. As you can see, the next place is going to be the Hyrule Castle. I'm just going over it really quick so I don't waste too much of your time, because I could really go in details with each place, but it will just take forever to show, guys and girls. So I don't wanna use an hour just to make one update video. It would be kind of waste of time, right? But you can clearly see the road has a new texture. The actual walls here, the rocky textures here, is also retextured. And if you are making your way up here, we can also see new textures on the different flowers that appears in this garden. Looks really awesome. The trees is also retextured. Looks really cool. I really love the look of these trees. Damn. We got some other flowers over here. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we got these small gravel path, whatever you want to call it. If you're rolling on gravel, or this, what it is, you can actually see a new texture that appears to be a dust sky, a little dust roll, whatever you want to call it. Looks really cool. To start with, I felt it was too cartoonish, but if you're looking on the different effects that appears in Breath of the Wild, they looks pretty much like a cartoonish kind of effect with a really high saturation on it. and I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of looks like that. I hope you get what I'm saying. Looks pretty cool, and that's what I'm trying to get here. If we are just going a little bit back here and trying to take a look at the castle, I just have to move up here. I think it's easier. I think it's way easier. Like this. You can see it's pretty much just different bricks and then these blue textured roofs. There's not much to say about that, but it looks pretty cool, and especially with this morning time on this late day time. So it has a beautiful color scheme, a really beautiful color scheme. To enter Zelda's garden, we actually have to make it day once again, or else guards will be standing in our way, and I don't want to do that. So let's just play a song, and it should be day. Like that. I don't know if you saw it, but the musical or the music menu when you are playing a song, it's actually also retextured. It's not a big deal, but it is remade, and that's the most important thing. Instead of having these the hedges, I think it's called that, I turned the hedges into stone walls instead. So I don't know why, but it's just about making a little change once again. I think it fits really well. No matter what, the guards can see through these. So if it was leaves or stone walls, it really doesn't matter because they can't see shit anyway. Moving over to this area, we can see Princess Zelda in the middle of this this little pedestal. Looks pretty cool. I don't know if you can see her quite well, but it's actually a model from or a picture from Skyward Sword. Looks pretty cool, and I just love Skyward Sword, so I just have to put that texture in here. We also got Princess Zelda here, standing in this beautiful dress from Hyrule Warriors. Also a pretty cool version of her, but I prefer the Skyward Sword version or the Zelda Ocarina of Time version, because it just looks like an awesome Princess Zelda, let me say it like that. Alright, Castle Courtyard, Zelda's Courtyard, whatever you want to call it. Looks beautiful with these small flowers, and if you're taking a look here in the little Easter egg room, we can see some different pictures from Breath of the Wild, and also a little picture from the Wind Waker. I actually guess it's artwork from the Wind Waker, the second one there. Over here we can also see a little sign saying, "Oh, you found me," which is just a little gimmick. I don't know why, but it's pretty cool with all these gimmicks. I can't get enough of them. I hope you realize that yet. And I'm just putting them everywhere I can, just for fun, right? Over here there's not much to say, it's just a little window. If you're shooting at it with the slingshot, a guard will throw a bomb at you, because, yeah, I don't know why. Once again we got different mossy textures here, same the textures that appears in Temple of Time. Looks pretty cool. And then we got this stone background, looks really awesome to me. I don't know why, but it just really fits the area really well. If we are taking a look at this text when you are entering an area, Castle Courtyard here, it's actually an idea I got from Breath of the Wild 2, where it's just I think it's light beige colored Zelda letters that says the name of the area. No effects, nothing, just bare text with the Zelda font used there, and it's pretty cool. I really love the look of that, so for sure that appears in every different area that you want to travel to. Pretty nice, and just another idea that fits really well together with the project, because it's Breath of the Wild, so it has to be in my project, right? Let's go to the next area. The next area is Lon Lon Ranch, a really cozy, nice place to be at if you just want to chill around in Ocarina of Time. The very first thing that I want to say also, I actually forgot about that, but the little minimap in the right corner down here is also retextured, or it's actually recolored, so it has a more darker blue to it. Looks pretty cool, and just a little another feature with the project. If you're taking a look at a bomb explosion, you will also see this cartoonish high saturation explosion. I also forgot about that, so let me show you all of the things that I just forgot. It looks pretty cool, and I just love this cartoonish explosion. It looks really great. I think I got all the different effects that I haven't been showing you in the last videos or in the last clips. Well, speaking of Lon Lon Ranch, there's actually pretty much to show you here because, yeah, at each area there's just much to speak about. We got these very colorful, really colorful textures appearing on each house. Looks pretty cool. I just love different colors. I basically got these ideas from Rito Village and these kind of areas from Breath of the Wild, and also from Skyloft in Skyward Sword. I don't know if you can compare Skyward Sword with the Breath of the Wild, but I think the whole texture kind of the textures is pretty much the same in Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword. At least the color scheme has this kind of faded colors to it, and just looks really cool. So I also used a lot of ideas from Skyward Sword, and it's also easier to get different textures from Skyward Sword into Ocarina of Time, because most of the textures is actually ripped from Skyward Sword and not from Breath of the Wild. So most of the textures that you actually are seeing in this texture pack is actually something that comes from Skyward Sword and is modified to look like a new texture. So it's actually a pretty funny little notice there. Anyways, this is basically just Talon's house. I think it's called that. At least it's a house in the Lon Lon Ranch. Looks pretty cool. It's just a house with a lot of wooden planks and small textures. Inside here it's just a barn. Once again, it's made by Ghibli, so I don't want to take credit for that. Maybe I will be doing this because all of the textures is in the texture pack right now, but it's not a promise that I will probably keep, because it takes so long time to edit these pre-rendered backgrounds. Also because the pre-rendered backgrounds is split up into a lot of different pictures for some reason. I don't even know why, but Nintendo chose to do that, and it's just really stupid. I think the stable there that we was just looking at, I mean it's 116 different pictures that is split up just to create that stable. For some reason I just feel, whoa, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. For God's sake, it takes a lot of time to do that. Also, the start menu is also split up into different pictures, but I think it's just 15 or something like that, so it's not a big deal. We got the Moo crates, the long crates, whatever you want to call them. There's not much to say. It should look like some kind of a burn stamp on the crate here. I don't know, maybe it just looks like a cow that have gotten too much of sun, too much saturation, whatever. But it is there, and I think it looks quite alright. It's at least it can pass the test, and it's the most important part. And we got some different tools here. There's not much to say. For some reason, I always like this place. It feels cozy, it feels nice, and I just like being here. I don't know why. I really relax when I'm visiting this place. Well, talking about Lon Lon Ranch once again, there's basically not much to say about it yet. I think I got everything that is to say about it. We got a lot of different animals, or we got a lot of horses in here. They're not retextured yet. Maybe they will be done later on. I guess I will do that, but right now I'm just working on the main things, and the next thing I will begin to edit is probably dungeons. Afterwards it will be NPCs, and then it will be enemies, I guess, in that order. Maybe it will change, but at least everything has to be edited for some reason when you're making a texture pack, and we have gone so far in the whole process right now, so I don't want to skip anything, because the more I make, the more complete will the texture pack feel like when you're playing it, and that's the main That's the main reason why I want to make a texture pack, because I want to make it really feel unique and complete when you're playing it. Well, let's go to the next area, so we don't just talk and run around like in circles in Lon Lon Ranch. The next place is Ganondorf's castle, and holy moly, that place is gigantic. It took me around 1.5 days to recreate the whole place. It might just sound like nothing to you, but in comparison to making the start menu with all these different sizing and different pictures that I had to edit, it took me around like 3 hours or so. So this castle took me a long time, but I think the outcome is perfect, and especially these dark clouds over the castle looks really awesome. Over here we can see these gravel roads leading up to the castle and over to the fairy fountain. There's not much to say about that. This texture is also remade. Yeah, it just scares the shit out of me, really. We also got these brown looking rock textures underneath the castle and basically everywhere else except for the road, and these bricky blocks that look that lays everywhere. So it's a pretty straightforward and basic looking area, but I just think I want to make it really unique and really dark, and also make it stand out really really different, because this is the final place and it had to just stand out from the other places that you're visiting throughout Ocarina of Time, because it is the final place and this is the main evil king in the whole game. So forget about Iron Knuckles and Stalfosses. This is where the evil king lives, and he should be the final boss. You're just going to fight his incarnation called Ganon instead of Ganondorf and such, but I don't want to give you any spoilers if you haven't been playing Ocarina of Time. I really hope you have been doing that before you start playing with the texture pack. Well, yeah, let's enter the castle and see what I got for you guys and girls. First of all, we can see inside Ganon's castle. I know this has a little outline effect on it, but when you are entering a shrine in Breath of the Wild, you will also see a little kind of change in that text that appears on the screen. So it's not just this light beige; it's actually white with a blue outline, and it will appear in every single area that has this temple, a temple in that area. So when you enter the temple, you will see this white texture, white letters with the blue outline on it. That took a long time to explain, for God's sake. Well, we can see this texture that just follows down with the stairs, looks really awesome. And elsewhere we just got different brick textures everywhere. It looks pretty cool. I just love the look of this. For some reason, Hyrule Castle in the Breath of the Wild is really, what can I call it? It's really basic. I think most of the textures is just, yeah, pretty much gray, and therefore I just did it in my texture pack too. I would have made it more colorful, but I had to keep the color scheme from the Hyrule Castle in the game that I'm trying to recreate in Ocarina of Time. So I had to do that. Anyways, it turned out really well, no matter what. What I'm a really huge fan of is this door. It just looks really amazing for some reason. It is this goddess holding the Master Sword, and I just really like that little idea. We can go through each trial, but I just wanted to show you the very first room in each trial, so we don't use too much of time on this. So this is the forest trial, looks really great. It's pretty much the same texture that goes over and over again. So the ones you see here is pretty much the one that appears in the trial too. The ice is not remade yet because I haven't been recreating the ice cavern yet. So therefore the ice is not finished yet. It will be coming soon. Make sure to know that. The shadow trial looks pretty cool. There's not much to say about it. It's basically just simple textures that appears everywhere else in Ganondorf's castle. But there is a lot of the same texture, man. Holy shit. I think just with this texture on the wall, I think I have like 20 of the same texture just to have it fit like where it should be. It's really, it's weird. It's really weird. Oh yeah, the light trial, pretty cool. I love this place. I don't know why, it just looks cool. Really cool. Especially with these pillars or whatever you want to call it. It looks really cool. It looks really cool. I remember this was actually my favorite trial when I was younger. And now it's just like I can skip all of the trials and I just do that because I don't know why. I think I've been speedrunning too much, so I don't want to go through all of these. For some reason my FPS always drops a little bit in this room, but that's not what I want to show you. I just want to show you this this room too. There's not much to say. It's just another trial ride. Going out again, we are going down here. I want to skip all of the trials and not beat every single trial. I think that would definitely be some kind of waste of time. If you haven't seen it, you can actually do this by skipping. You can actually skip all of the trials by doing this. Not flying, but you can also bump shoe hover. If you don't know that, you can search it up on YouTube. It's pretty easy, and then you skip all of the trials. Easy. I love that. I love that. The very first room that you will see in Ganon's tower, I actually don't know if it's called Ganondorf's tower, but inside Ganondorf's castle, what can I call it? You know what I mean. The very first room you will see blue carpets, which I think it looks pretty much like a royal thing with these blue carpets, and that's the meaning of it. And once again we got the same texture going up this upstairs along with the stairs here. Looks really cool. For some reason I just fell for that as soon as I saw it, and I just had to keep that. And then we got the same brick texture on the walls and this colorful on this colorful floor. It looks really great. Looks really great. Up here, let's just kill this keys, for God's sake. Yeah, this will just lead you up to Ganondorf's tower. Each room is pretty much unique, but all in all it's the same texture that goes over and over again. So there's not much to say here. It is what it is. You can also see this time the stairs is also the same texture as the floor. Basically it's actually not me that can control that, but it's something that the game says this texture just has to be there. And also if you take a look at it, I'm just going back to show you, you can see the texture is actually getting stretched a little bit. I don't know why, but it looks really stupid in my opinion, but it's probably to save space in the RAM or something like that, the memory of the game. At that time it didn't have a lot to work with, and therefore you did it that way. Oh, sorry. For some reason I made these torches look like these old planks combined, and then you have a little flame over it. For some reason the planks doesn't burn or anything, but I just feel like it was well fitting. Maybe it's just because it looks like this forgotten castle, and it just looks evil for some reason, because there's no love, there's no beautiful things in this castle. It's just raw, and yeah, I think that's the basic idea I got when I thought about these planks. Anyways, I think it looks really cool with the other textures though when you are having them combined, but yeah, I don't know. It's just an idea I came up with. And this is the room right before Ganondorf, or the second room right before Ganondorf. Actually, he's up there playing his organ. I hope you can hear that. You can also see here the texture here is actually just rope that should be repetitive over and over again up to the very top. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. I don't know why it had to be rope, but I felt it would be too mainstream just to put different bricks or something like that there. So this gives another feeling. I hope you like it, man. Over here we got windows. Windows everywhere, man. There's not much to say. It looks pretty cool. The same texture also appearing up in Ganondorf's room. And now we are in the room right before Ganondorf, right before you meet the evil king that has been stealing your princess the last 7 years. Basically, because now you're adult, and right before when you met Zelda first time, you were like kid. So yeah, damn. Well, you can see here on the side here, once again we got another texture that follows up with the stairs. Looks really awesome. This time it's more detailed and also in wooden, has this wooden texture on it. It looks pretty cool and just gives it more royal and more special look than just another brick texture. Up here we also got some gold. That also means now you are going to the majestic room, or whatever you want to call it, the king's room. So let's enter it, see what he got for us. The very first time you are meeting Ganondorf, you will see him playing his organ. I actually think you see it every time, even though, because you can't save afterwards, you are beating him. But I don't know if you can see it, the organ is also retextured. Some of the textures is actually not retextured because I couldn't find them in GP's texture pack, so I couldn't put anything over them. But all in all, it doesn't really matter, but it still frustrates me because all of the other things in the texture pack is so complete, except for Ganondorf's organ. Most of it is, but you can clearly see which is not and which is remade. So it stands out a little bit, but I can't do anything against it. I can't do anything. You can get a clear side of it here. It looks pretty cool. I really like the look of it. I just missed the last textures, for God's sake. It would be so nice to have that, but I couldn't find any texture pack I could take these textures from and made my own. So I have to forget about that idea, sadly. And here we got Ganondorf's. I don't really know, but he always scared me. He looks really creepy for some reason. Especially here, man, for God's sake. Especially when he loads up his goddamn hand, or his square, whatever you want to call it. Goddamn. So now you're basically getting the message by Navy that have been together with you the whole game, that you are fucked. You can't do anything and Navy won't help you. Forget about that. And for some reason Ganondorf can just make his organ disappear. Like that. Before we end showing Ganondorf's castle, just take a look at the different textures on the side here. Once again, it's just the same window texture. Looks pretty cool. There's not much to say about that, but it looks cool, and that's the most important part. Ah, shit! I tried to save myself there. Let's go to a more peaceful place and end up the video, because I think Ganondorf up there, he will just be stressing me out, so I will never end this video quite well. So let's just go to another place. See you in 2 seconds. But before we end this video, I just want to show you the final work I have been working on since last update video. It's the different grottos you can find under stones. You can place a bomb and it will reveal a little hole you can fall down into, and you can actually just find them everywhere in Hyrule. A little slideshow will be running in this video while I'm ending it, and just make sure to enjoy them and say what you think in the comment section down below. Well, thank you so much for watching this video, guys and girls. I hope you enjoyed all of this new work, because it have really taken a lot of time and I'm really proud of it. So I really hope you guys and girls is just getting more and more excited to play this texture pack. I know it's not a mod, I know it's not a big deal maybe, but it's a whole complete texture pack for Ocarina of Time. And it's actually some years since we got a texture pack for Ocarina of Time up running. We got the 3DS version, we got the Wind Waker version, Twilight Princess version, and then we also got this new one, which is called Ocarina of Time Reloaded, which is extremely high resolution texture packs or textures in Ocarina of Time. It takes a lot of memory to play that in your game, but make sure to search them up on Google and stuff like that, so you can enjoy them too. But this one is Once again, just a texture pack based on Breath of the Wild. I think it's pretty unique. I haven't seen anyone do that yet. So if you want to start your own texture pack, make sure to let me know and I will check them out definitely. So once again, thank you so much for watching, guys and girls. I hope you enjoyed this work. If you want to stay tuned with the newest updates from this project, make sure to like the Facebook page. Link will be in the description. Make sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this work, and make sure to like the video, subscribe until next update video, because then you will also be stay tuned here on YouTube. So you will get the newest updates first. Thank you so much for watching, guys and girls. I hope I see you in the next video. Bye.